Greetings, people of the internet. I am Scott with Serkworks Art Labs. Welcome to the underground lair where we create robots, aliens, zombies, and other imminent threats to humanity, and comics. Always comics. For the last 30 days, we've been doing comics, or the last 29 days, unless you include today, which is day 30. Yes, day 30. So what do? Every day, we get out the big pad of paper, the big fat Sharpie, and we write the day down. Day 30, that's where we're at now for 100 days of making comics. What is 100 days of making comics? Well, it's where you spend 30 minutes a day, every day, working on your own personal comic book project. You do that for 100 days. So, at the end of that 100 days, those 30 minutes start to add up. Now, of course you can do more, and I wish I could do more. It seems like lately I've been getting in those 30 minutes, and that's about it. But that's the whole idea of this challenge. It's pretty much for, the idea is, it's started by Kevin Cross, and it's for people who have, these busy schedules, but they want to do a comic book. So you can always find 30 minutes in your day to work on something. So that's what this is about now. Again, if you have more time, then work on it more, and you'll get it done faster. But the minimum is that 30 minutes a day, every day for 100 days. And that's the challenge. And then you vlog about it, you talk about it, you let people know about it. So speaking of letting people know about comics, my comic is Young and the Dead. It's a kids versus zombies story. It's like Goonies meets Night of the Living Dead. If you like those old, if you like Stranger Things, that's a little more modern interpretation. But if you like old school stuff like Goonies and Monster Squad, it's kind of in that vein. So anyway, so this is the comic. You can kind of see this is issue 1. That's the cover. And I'm going to talk a little bit about covers today because if you've been paying attention, you'll know that I finished up the cover for issue 4. And that's the issue that I'm working on right now. So this is the cover for issue 4. More or less, there's gonna be a little more to it because I'm going to add... What it's going to look like, here you can kind of see these kids in this arcade setting. So there's a big scene that's in the arcade, and what I think I'm going to do is, whether I do this on actually this version, there's this version, but then I also do this mini comics version that I don't have with me. I would have shown you that, but they're a little more customizable. They've got little cutouts and things like that. So what I want to do is I want to have this scene here like you're looking through or into the reflection of an arcade cabinet. So you'll kind of see that window right here, and you'll see this poking through it. So whether I actually take that into the standard edition that I just showed you, I'm not sure yet. But anyway, so this is done. But I thought I'd show you some of the other covers that I did, and I'm going to do a video on creating covers because I got some questions about how to create a comic book cover, and there's many ways to do it, and I'll try to discuss some of those. But the one way I like to do it, I like to have, if you got an ensemble cast, I like to have them all kind of more or less in the picture, like almost like a movie poster or more like an action scene or whatever. So anyway, that's what I try to do. So this is the previous issue. This is issue 4. So you can kind of see they're in a garage. They're on their bikes ready to head out and everything. Let's see, issue 2. This is issue 2. No, I said that was issue 4. That's issue 3. This is issue 2. And they're kind of looking through a trapdoor. All my main characters kind of looking down through a trapdoor at some impending doom below. And then this one, and this is another one, kind of like I was talking about the first one I showed you, issue 4 that I just finished. When I said I might add some more to it, this one actually there is more to it, as you can kind of see. But here's just the kids that are kind of backed up against this fence here. But if you look here, I went ahead later and I added some little zombie hands. You see those? And in the artist edition, this is the standard, and the artist edition, all of which are available at Serkworks.com. But the artist edition actually had the hands that kind of folded in, and it's got little banners across it, or like that caution tape that says "Keep out zombies," all that stuff. So anyway, so that's what goes in my head when I'm working on covers and things like that. And usually, the weird thing is, usually the cover is the last thing I do, but this time around I decided to do it first. So cover for issue 4 is done, and we're working on thumbnailing and all that stuff like that, and looking forward to getting into doing some drawing. But But let's talk about that. And how do we do that? We got to go to the real world. We got to go out where you guys are and find the alternate version, the alternate reality version, the parallel universe version of myself, who is in the middle of this comic book working on it. And we're going to go to the parallelscope right up here. Getting close to wrapping up these thumbnails. What am I at? Like page 19 now? So it's a 22-page book, so I'm getting there. Looking forward to actually doing some drawing. Now, of course, once you get to the end of an issue, there are some spoilers, but I don't think this isn't going to give anything away by these little, these sketches. You probably can't tell what's going on. Obviously, there, looks like there's a truck of some sort and some kids and stuff, but I'm not going to dive too deep into that. But so far now these thumbnails, they're a little bigger than I normally would draw thumbnails, but this time around I started doing those pre-thumbs or pinkies, whatever you want to call them, and those were really super tiny. So I figured this would be a good way if I just get 4 on a page here, and of course these are going to be blown up to 11 by 17, and then you take that artwork and then you reduce it back down, so it's like you start small, you go big, then you go back down small. But so yeah, these are the last 3 pages. I don't know if I'll get all these done in the 30 minutes that I have allotted to do these thumbnails, but I'll at least get 1 more page, and then hopefully tomorrow I'll be able to finish up those last couple pages, and then I gotta figure out, start thinking about getting this the digital sketches and everything done with Manga Studio and everything. And every time I do this comic book, I say I'm going to go digitally, at least for part of it, and I never end up doing it. So that's what I'm aiming to do. The only issue is that I can't really take it with me so much, at least not the digital sketching. When I print it out, I think I'm going to ink by hand. That stuff I can take around with me because I have time, like on my lunch hour, to work on this, but I don't have Manga Studio there, so Okay, you guys all know that I make comics, but what you probably don't know is that I make a mean macaroni and cheese, and I'm going to show you how it's done. Alright, so here's what you need. You're going to need a pound of elbow macaroni. You need, what is this, 4 cups of sharp white cheddar. Gruyere, how much is this? This says 6 ounces. 6 ounces, and then a little bit of Romano cheese as well. Then you need some spices, you need some nutmeg, you need some salt, you need some pepper, you need some butter, you need some white bread, flour, and a 3-quart casserole dish. And I'll kind of show you how we do this here. Okay, so we have to butter this casserole dish. Alright, so we want to preheat our oven to 375. So get that set, have that preheating, and then while we're doing that, we're going to boil a thing of water. Alright, take about 6 or 7 pieces of white bread, and we're going to cut the crust off of these bad boys. So now we want to cut these up into 1/4 or 1/2 inch pieces. Now you need to melt 2 tablespoons of butter and mix that in with your breadcrumbs. Okay, we are going to pour our melted butter in with our bread and mix it up. So now we're going to grate our cheese. So we got to grate the 4 cups of extra sharp white cheddar, and then 2 cups of Gruyere, or what is this, Romano? I kind of mix them up. Don't get too much of the Romano because it's super strong. But this is, I don't know what this comes out to, but a little more cheese isn't going to hurt you. All right, I totally forgot to tell you guys about the milk. You need 5½ cups of milk, and you need to boil that. Get it nice and hot. All right, so you need 1/2 cup of flour. You need 6 more tablespoons of butter. You need, let's see, that's a tablespoon, not that, teaspoon. 2 teaspoons of salt. All right. And then 1/4 tablespoon of nutmeg, pepper, and throw in some cayenne pepper, some chili powder just for a little kick. All right, so when your water is boiling, you need to take your elbow macaroni and boil it. Whatever the instructions say, do it about 2 minutes less than that. When your pasta's done boiling, you want to run it over, or you run it through a colander, drain it, and run some cold water over it. In the same pot that you boiled the macaroni, you're going to take your remaining 6 cups of butter, and you're going to boil that. And once that starts to boil, then you're going to whisk in your cup of, or 1/2 cup of flour. All right, there goes the flour. We're going to whisk that for about a minute. And after that, we're going to pour in our hot milk, and we're going to stir that until it's nice and thick and bubbling. Now that your mixture is nice and thick, you're going to take your spices, you're going to add those in there, and you're going to add 3 cups of the white cheddar, so that means you're setting aside 1 cup. And then the other cheese, the Gruyere and Romano mixture, about 1.5 cups of that. So set aside, I don't know, what was it, 1 cup of the other one or 1/2 cup? I didn't really pay too much attention to that. Then you're going to mix that up. Okay, so now you want to drop in your macaroni. You're going to stir that up. And once it gets all mixed in, then you're going to dump that in your 3-quart casserole dish. All right, so let's take our mixture. We're going to dump it into the casserole dish. Now we have to top it with our remaining cheese. Let's put that over the top there. Get all that cheese on there, because you can never have too much cheese. And then we're going to take our breadcrumbs and we're going to top it with the breadcrumbs. Just evenly disperse it all over there. And once we do that, we're going to put it in our preheated oven and we're going to cook it for 30 minutes. And that's probably about it. All right, back once again. We just keep chugging along. That is day 30. So we're going to put this day to rest. We're going to look forward to day 31. And that's when I'm going to see you tomorrow for day 31. That is all. Hey everyone, you've seen the process. Now you can check out the story. Issues 1 through 3 of Young and the Dead are available at my website at serkworks.com. Also follow me on social media at the links listed below. Subscribe and check out some of the other videos in the series. There's much more to come.